Good morning. This is a recording for Tuesday, May 14th. Today we will continue discussing how we can put the shame resilience principles into our daily life. Brené Brown says, "One issue that is clear from my research interviews is how incredibly hard we are on ourselves. More times than not, we are members of our own shame web. Even if we are only enforcing the expectations that we hear from others or from the media, we're still actively contributing to our own shame web. If we want to build shame resilience and cultivate our authenticity, we must learn how to become members of our own connection network instead. We must learn how to respond to ourselves with empathy and understanding. It takes a lot of work to stay out of judgment about others, and it takes even more work to stay out of self-judgment. Our ability to be authentic and genuine often depends on our level of self-acceptance, our sense of belonging to ourselves, and our ability to express self-empathy. One way we can increase our self-empathy and the connection to ourselves is to explore and acknowledge our strengths as well as our limitations. There is an approach in social work called a strength perspective. According to social work educator Dennis Celebi, the strength perspective offers us the opportunity to examine our struggles in light of our capacities, talents, competencies, possibilities, visions, values, and hopes. This perspective doesn't dismiss the pain and serious nature of our struggles. However, it does require us to consider our positive qualities as potential resources. Dr. Salabi writes, "It is as wrong to deny the possible as it is to deny the problem." I just love that. It is as wrong to deny the possible as it is to deny the problem. One effective method for understanding our strengths is to examine the relationship between our strengths and our limitations. And if we actually examine what we do best and what we want to change the most, we will often find that the two behaviors are just varying degrees of the same core behavior. For example, you can shame yourself for being too controlling and uptight about your work, or you can recognize that you're very responsible, dependable, and committed to quality work. It is important to understand, however, that strengths perspective is not a tool to simply allow us to put a positive spin on any problem and just consider it solved. Not at all. Rather, it allows us to inventory our strengths so that we can use them to address the challenges. Remember, the main message of this whole series is this. We cannot change and grow when we are in shame, and we cannot use shame to change ourselves or others. Let me say it again. We cannot change and grow when we are in shame, and we cannot use shame to change ourselves or others. We need to come from a more constructive perspective. And when we reframe our faults and limitations in the context of our strengths and talents, we feel better resourced to change anything we want to change in our behavior or our outlook on life. So let me give you an example of that. You can shame yourself for being too worried about your children all the time. Or you can reframe that using your strengths and focus on the fact that you're trying to be a good parent, thoughtful, involved, conscientious. And from a place of self-worth, it is much easier for you to think about how you might want to change some things in your parent playbook and become an even better parent if you reality check some of your fears and recognize that you are doing plenty to keep your children safe and happy. If you come at it from a place of shame and disconnection, it would be very difficult to assess your behaviors, and much less attempt to change them. It's interesting how all of us are wired to focus on our shortcomings and take our strengths for granted. But it's our human nature. It's what's called our negativity bias, a very useful tool that helped us survive as a species. But if we want to live a full, rich, authentic life, it is absolutely critical that we catch ourselves doing things well. So today, once again, let's do a practice of loving kindness directed only to ourselves, cultivating self-empathy. As always, take a comfortable position and take a few moments to settle. Settle into your body, your heart, your mind. Settle into this moment, right here, right now. Allow your breath to be natural, soft. Don't try to make your breath anything that it's not. There is no point. Just like there is no point in making yourself into anything you are not. See if you can find a sense of freedom, a sense of spaciousness in your breathing, allowing all the experience of the present moment to flow through you as energy that they are, without struggle. As always, with loving kindness practice, start by reminding yourself of your basic goodness and your simple wish to be happy, healthy, and free, to be yourself, to be comfortable in your skin. If you want, you can place one or both hands on your heart and start repeating after me, silently or out loud. May I be filled with loving kindness. May I be well in body and mind. May I feel loved, cared for, at ease. May I accept myself just the way I am. May I remember that I am good enough. May I touch deep, natural peace. As you repeat the words, notice how this mantra makes you feel in your body, your heart, your mind. May I be filled with loving kindness. May I be well in body and mind. May I feel loved, cared for, at ease. May I accept myself just the way I am. May I remember that I am good enough. May I touch deep, natural peace. If you feel unworthy of receiving all this love, don't worry. Remember, we all are hardwired for negativity bias. We are all hardwired to notice our shortcomings, our limitations, our faults. If such thoughts arrive, you can simply say to yourself, how human of me, and remind yourself that it is absolutely critical to catch yourself doing things well. May I be filled with loving kindness. May I be well in body and mind. May I feel loved, cared for, at ease. May I accept myself just the way I am. May I remember that I am good enough. May I touch deep, natural peace. And as you gently let go of your practice, as always, scan your body and notice what's going on for you right now. Physically, emotionally, mentally. How are you really? As you go through your day today, I invite you to continue with this reflection and keep reframing your faults and limitations in the light of your strengths, from the perspective of your strengths. Remember, this way you will feel better resourced to change anything you want to change in your behavior or outlook on life. Enjoy your discoveries as always. And if you feel inspired to share, please do so. Thank you so much for being here today. Have a gorgeous day. And tomorrow is Lorna's breathing practice. I will see you on Thursday.